Going live.
All right.
It says we're live. I am going on here to doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It's always so. Here we go. Here we go, guys.
All right.
Okay, it's on my main page now. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon, everyone. Pastor KP here. With one of the boys again. Well, we don't have everybody here, so we have Garth with us. Pastor Garth Dotton. What's going on, buddy?
Man, good to see you, preacher. And good to see
Yeah.
each and every one of you.
In the words of some individuals, especially the old timers, it's good to be seen. it's
Hey,
it's
hey,
it's it's good to be seen, guy.
that's the
Um,
truth, man. I mean, hey, we're alive, man, in a pandemic. It's good to be above ground, preacher. It's good to be
it
above
is
ground, man.
it is crazy. It's crazy. We're gonna talk about a few things, but oh, we gotta come. Who's on here? Who's saying? Oh, what's up, Wade? It's Travis. Well,
Affleck,
I
the
think it's
great.
yeah. I think it's him.
Affleck,
What's
the
up,
great, man.
boss? Good to see you, man. Hey, hey, listen. Let me just jump right in it. Doug Ford is shutting down the province again, Gareth.
Look, man. I mean, I can't even visit. Like this is unreal, man. We can't even visit. They've closed the borders to us, kept us out, kept us out, man. It's unfair. I mean, seriously. I still hold a Canadian passport and I can't cross the border.
That's
It's a
the only
shame.
passport. That's the only passport I need, man. The Canadian one. But they're
I
saying,
don't know. I don't
but
know, man.
they're saying you need another one, the vaccine passport.
The vaccine passport. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Doug Ford. I don't know when
Uh-huh.
y'all gonna vote him out, man, because this can't work. This can't work.
Listen, I went. So while we were, you're seeing a lot of people are frustrated by the shutdown, open close, open close. I saw a press conference that he conducted. I think it was either today or yesterday, and he was talking about the numbers there.
Mhm.
So when you go to the statistics, right? Yeah, well, let me show what Wade is saying. You can cross if you really want to. Yeah, if we cross, you may have to come and snatch us out of those hotels that Justin is
Yeah,
pushing people in,
that's
or
right.
come pay that $2,000 bill for us.
Is it $2,000 a day? What
It's
is it
no per person. It's two
per
thousand
person?
dollars per person. I don't know how it works, but I know they have different locations around Canada. So I think they have one in Calgary. Of course, they have one in
Okay.
Ontario. But it's honestly, like I said, I have never in my life, right, seen where the government is taking such a um, I don't know, these dramatic or these drastic approaches to dealing with this thing. And I don't think they need to. I think, of course,
Wow.
safety is important, making sure that everybody is wearing a mask and washing hands and all those things. But that whole hotel business, I don't think I would ever see this thing in Canada. I hear about China, or other countries where they have dictatorships where governments do these things, but I didn't think that would see
Wow.
that.
Well, I think Trudeau is going to put us in cages, man. Um, that's the next step here, and so I'm not crossing until I know it's safe for me to be able to cross and safely get there without being accosted at the border and being put in a cage for what 2 weeks before I can
Oh,
be
3 days.
released.
No, 3 days. So this
Three
is
three days.
3 days, and then you have to go into a 14-day quarantine.
See, this is not right, man. That somebody's cashing in. If that's the case,
Mm.
$2,000. Who's getting that money? I would like to have the contract with the government to hold people for 3 days and get $2,000. That's a lot of money.
And to Wade's point, I mean, I'll pick up what Wade is saying here. That's because you've never been like, no, I agree. I'm not talking about the fact that I've been in a global pandemic before. I'm talking about these. I'm trying to think of the right term, but like, how do you justify putting people in forced quarantine for 3 days and charging them $2,000, and then you still have to go into a 14-day quarantine? How do you justify a vaccine passport, right, in order to go on flights and all? And of course, people talk about the 1918 pandemic. People talk about the what, oh yeah, you need a vaccine to go to certain countries, and I'm not denying all of this. I'm talking about the fact that tech companies they've come up with the technology, and they're forcing this technology. And Garth, do you think that it's going to happen? Because Ron DeSantis down here issued an executive order banning companies and businesses from requiring a vaccine passport. But
Right.
Cuomo in New York said that he's testing out the Excelsior Pass. You think
Well,
we're gonna get there?
wow. Well, the more north we go, it seems like the more conservative it's getting.
Yeah.
It seems that way. So those laws are going to be pushed. It seems into existence here. But it seems like those more so southern, which is traditionally more conservative, but now is becoming more liberal when it comes to certain ideals. And
Yeah.
so for Florida and other places in the South,
Mhm.
they're not going to enforce masks. They're not going to enforce this passport. They're not going to enforce any of these things. But
Yeah.
more of the northern states are saying we need to be safe. We need to enforce these rules. And individuals are kind of lax and allowing these things to come into place without realizing that their rights are being stripped away. And I think that's the thing that we need to really be cautious about, because we're allowing for our rights to be taken away because it's a pandemic and because we have never been there before. Then the basic things that we have been used to, basic things freedoms that we have had for all these years and we're fought for, we're giving that away because there is a pandemic. And I think that's the part that we need to really pay close attention to in the next little while.
Right. Right. What, in terms of the whole situation, man, I totally, yes, sir. In terms of the whole situation, I totally agree with you. I think that we are heading in that direction, though, regarding the whole situation. Um, well, just give me 1 second there. 1 second. Let me just. Sorry about that. The office, I had to entertain a guest there.
Yeah. Hey, they came knocking. They came knocking.
Oh well, listen, how come Wade has so much to say? Wade, you should be on
Wait,
here, Wade.
what is he saying?
It's
It's
not,
not. It says not enforced yet,
and
but it
then he
will be.
said it's just a matter. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah,
That's the point. It's
I'm gonna
only a
send.
matter of time.
I'm gonna send Wade. I'm gonna send Wade the link. If he can jump in if he wants.
Yeah,
Hold
wait,
on.
wait. You need to come on here, man. I haven't seen you in a long time, man. It'd be good to see you and hear
This
you, man.
this dude is like talking this yin and yang. He needs to come on in. Let me find him.
At least he said yet. That means that he's expecting it to come in.
Listen, let's don't play fools. We don't, let's it's not it's coming. Okay, I don't know the dynamics that will play out between, like you say, like Florida and Republican type controlled states. I don't know the dynamics there, right? But I do know for sure that it is going to happen. It is coming. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share a post, later on Facebook, because I do these regular follow-ups type thing. In the churches, though, that is the dynamics going to be very interesting, because, like I say, you got a lot of Adventists and leaders who are pushing it, and they're pressuring. But we know what's happening. We know where it's going to go. Um,
Well,
it's unfortunate, but that's where it's going to go.
what it may be mandated too that we have to do certain things in order to even reopen the churches, um,
Hmm.
which seems like that's going to be the case. So,
Yeah.
um, basic laws and stuff, freedoms that we have always had is taken away, and we're watching it vanish before our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
And
Affleck we saw coming in there?
yeah, he is, but he's having. It seems like he's having an issue like connecting there.
See, Trudeau doesn't want him to come on, man.
No.
Trudeau doesn't want him to come on. See, that's what happens when your basic rights are taken away, man.
Yeah,
See, then
even
you
your
can't even
internet
get
don't
proper
work.
internet. They can shut down your internet. They can tell you can't go online. You can't do certain things in social media, and there's nothing he can do about it. This is not
I,
a communist country, man.
I
We're not there.
posted I posted a CDC article on Facebook, a CDC article on Facebook where basically the CDC said it's CNBC that posted it. Welcome, sir.
Man, thank you.
There
No,
you, there
don't,
you,
Good to see
the
you
man.
all.
you busy?
I am, man. I'm a working man. This is Canada. This ain't we don't have
So what do you have to say,
we
sir? What
don't
do you have
have
to say? We're gonna move on to the next topic, but what do you have to say on this one before we move on?
on which one?
We were just talking
On
about you said it's going to happen. It's not, it's just not, it's just a matter of time with the
well,
past.
brethren, how long you bottom line is how long you been Adventist?
Yeah, exactly. That's
That's
my
all.
point.
Uh-huh.
That's my point. I don't
So
think I don't know
it
if
is going to
individuals.
happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling people. It's going to happen.
Hmm.
You
It's
know.
going to happen. It's just a matter of it's just a matter of being prepared and ready for it. But it is going
Mhm.
to happen. It's all about how you're going to be when it happens.
Mhm.
You know.
So this is, that's this. It's still an uneasy feeling to know that we talk about it as being things that will happen in our generation, but now we're watching the thing
Watching it
unfold.
and we can't believe it. Oh no, it's not going to. It's not this. No, yeah, right.
Yeah, basically watching the thing unfold before us, and it's really strange. It's strange to
Yeah.
watch it, regardless of how much we have known. It's one thing to experience it. So
Yes,
I think
sir.
that's what
Yes,
we're going
sir.
through.
That's exactly it, man. But anyways, that's just that's the pandemic. George Floyd. We have been watching some riveting testimonies, boss. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
it's
Yeah.
it's like it was bad, man. It's been bad. I don't know how you think he's gonna. I don't know. I'm. What do you think about what you've been seeing so far? I don't know if you've seen all of it, but
I've watched some of it, but I
right.
haven't been able to. I'm probably like some individuals, just because of the maybe I've had PTSD from all of the other cases that are similar,
Yeah.
and knowing we go through all of this, and you can see what the outcome is going to be. So
Hmm.
I've tuned in to some degree, but I've also tuned out because I can almost see how it is playing out similar to other cases that has happened before. There are
Hmm.
many other cases like this one, George Floyd case included, that has been in the past, and we've heard all the testimony and all the evidence, and you will think in our minds it's going to go one way, and then only to be crushed at the end when we find out, hey, there's no grounds to hold this person liable in any regard for the death of this person, and they go
Right.
free, and then my heart is broken again because I'm like, there's no justice. And so at this point I'm like, yeah, I'm watching, but I'm watching from a distance because it just seems like it's going to play out again like other cases before. And the reason why is because it's so similar to how things
Yeah.
have been
Yeah.
done before.
Right.
Where, yes, we all seen the video, but the same video is like, well, there's not really enough evidence at the end. And we have paid their family off. So, now we can make that decision now and let the person go free. And they get a slap on the wrist, really. And they continue with their life, and they may get a name change, and they may move to another state, and that's
Right.
what we see happening time and time again. And
Right.
with that, I'm just like, you know what? I don't have confidence in the system that is going to play out for justice. I don't
Right,
have
right.
confidence in that, and I think that's where
You
I am
think you
at this
think there's
point.
a possibility he may get off? That's what you think?
There's always a great possibility he may get off, and even with the world watching, he may still get off because that's how privilege operates. And there's just a matter of time before some evidence is dropped or something becomes awry in the whole case, and then he goes on to live his life. Um,
The
that
the the,
that's
a part of it that I didn't like. I mean, of course, everybody's watching it, so I guess everybody have their own little takeaway and their own opinion observations. Is how one the defense is painting George Floyd and his, I don't know if it's his girlfriend or fiance, it's a
Mhm.
fiance or something like that,
Yeah,
painting them as like drug addicts. One,
of course.
and for the individuals, especially that MMA guy, the MMA marshal, I can't remember his name, the guy that was talking about the blood choke and all, because he knows.
Mhm.
Um, it's how the defense is painting him and others like they're angry. I didn't, well, I guess, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how these things work, right? So I'm guessing
Wow.
that's something that they can. So they're angry one, and George Floyd is a drug addict, so therefore he's supposed to die.
Well, it's character assassination, and that's
Hmm.
always the first line of defense um, when you have someone who is on camera doing a crime,
Right.
and so you come up, how can I get out of this thing? And the first thing is to say, hey, this guy is really a bad guy. He's so
Hmm.
bad that he's a menace to society, and he's a menace to society means that he's guilty. He's always guilty, and he's worthy of death.
Yeah.
Which is, a dead man tells no tales. He can't come back and defend himself. He's dead. But you say, hey, this guy, he's worthy of death because look, he wasn't that great of a guy. He's actually a menace to society. So let him die. And if he died on the street, then he was just a drug addict. He was just leeching off the system. He was a no
Yeah.
good. He would have actually killed you if he had an opportunity to. If you saw him in the flesh, that type of stuff. So when I demonize and destroy someone's character to that degree, then it's easy to get off any crime, and that has been the line of defense for many years, and I expect for it to continue with this one. It's only a matter of time, though, before you begin to see it intensify, and they bring up some new individuals and new testimony and eyewitnesses, whoever who gets paid in the background to make a testimony on how he did this when he was 15 years old. He went
Yeah.
into a
Yeah.
store and he stole and
Yeah.
he did all this stuff. It's
He
only a
stole the
matter of
cookie
time,
from
man.
the cookie jar, right?
And that I'm like, what relevance is it to this case?
Yeah.
This case has a man on the ground, a human life. You
Subdued,
kneel on
fully
his neck,
subdued. He's handcuffed. And thank God for cameras, because, like you said, this thing has been happening for years,
man.
right? We just
Still
never had the
continues to.
cameras, and it still continues. We have, and even though it was on camera, we still didn't realize that those other police officers were there helping him. I'm like, where is the humanity? Um, I don't know, man. I
And
don't know
that's
what to
that's
say.
the problem, man. In the hood, there is no humanity. It's just
Mhm.
we do what we want to do, and these folks, they don't deserve anything but just a bullet, and that's what it comes down to. And that's the sad part, man. But that's the state in which we live in. That's the country in which we live in. But there's a lot of injustices here, and I just pray and hope that there is something good that's going to come out of this. Outside of the fact that his family has been compensated to some
I
degree.
was about to bring that up. To what is it? 27, $28 million? Is that it?
Yeah, yeah,
Is that,
yeah.
do you think that's hush money being paid off and he's gonna he's gonna walk? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be thinking that way, but
Mm.
forgive me.
But to some degree, I mean, hasn't it always been the case? I mean,
Yeah.
almost every case you've always find. Now it's never been to this magnitude. It's never been 20 something million, right? It's always
Hmm.
been like, I'll give you like 5 million, I'll give you 2 million, I'll give you a million or a couple
Hmm.
100,000, but never 20 something million. So that
Right.
means that there's this responsibility that they feel they have to give this family this amount of money because they feel guilty for some to some degree
Right.
by paying this thing out.
Hmm.
There's never been that much, and so for that in the history to give out that amount, that's an ownership of some guilt to some degree on that case.
Huge amount of guilt.
Um,
Huge
but
amount of guilt.
but it's also to say, hey, we're gonna let him off. We'll let the case go through, but we know how this thing ends.
Or he's gonna the Amber Geiger situation. Remember?
Oh
Uh,
yes, yes, yes. Here's one other thing too. Because when they get off, they have already put in place that there should be no demonstrations or retaliation when the decision is made. So they have
hmm
already the structure is already there. If there are
Yeah.
individuals who's going to come out on the street to demonstrate, then
hmm
they will enforce. They will bring the full guards out. And I'm
hmm
like, well, who's to say the case is not done yet?
hmm
How will they make a statement that they're going to bring out all the guards to make sure that there is peace and order if the case is not even called? That means that in the background, some people know something about the result of this case and are making preparations as to when the results are presented. That as individuals get upset and rally and get outside, then they're going to make sure that peace and order is maintained. And so that's typically how it's done. And
Right.
it's just an attack on the community too, to say, hey, you can't say anything about this, or we're going to shut you down. Now, meanwhile, in the capital, individuals can storm and there is no police presence or very
January
little. You
January
know,
6th. Well, what do you mean there were no police presence? The police were very
well,
much present, but they
they
were
were
part of.
present, but they were part of the riot, and some just
Yeah.
ran away. Some just
Yeah.
ran away because we don't want to, interfere with these good people. You
hmm
know, there are good people in the crowd, that are
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
in to storm the
hmm
Capitol. Good people. So that's been traditionally, man, how we're seeing it played out, and that it's really sad to me. It's sad that we have to witness that again. So I'm keeping my hands off. I'm not really in the midst of it because it's just too hurtful, man, to see
I
this
think
play out again.
I think if he gets off, I think there's gonna be some huge protest demonstrate. You name it. I don't know what, but
But they know that. They know that. They're prepared for it.
right.
They're prepared for it. And they let us know they're prepared for it. So it's sad. It's sad. It's very sad, man. And it's sad to watch this. At the end of the day, at least, his family is is taken care of for the
Right.
most part. If they invest it right and don't go out there and buy all the stuff that are high end and think that they're going to live a lavish lifestyle, that money will run out. So they have to
hmm
invest it, especially for his children. Make sure that they're taken care of and their future is bright, so that they can grow up to be advocates. If
Right.
time would last, they can grow up to be advocates, knowing what happened to their dad, and be a voice for those who are voiceless. So I pray and hope that that will be the case with his children and his family.
Um, in terms of the going to another topic, still connected to it because there was a Asian officer there
Mm,
who is getting a lot of flack for allowing his partner or to do what he
wow.
did.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
which and the reason why, so one, it's connected there, and two, on the other side, it's the situation that we have right now, floating around news, social media, this big campaign, a strong campaign, we stand with our Asian brothers and sisters. And you know um, the narrative and the rhetoric, it seems to be suggesting that somehow black people are out there willy-nilly abusing Asian people, and every time they find an incident where a black people are involved or black folks are involved, it seems to be highlighted more so than you know the general
Wow.
situation that they're facing when it comes to racism and and the biases. um,
Man. Wow. You
I
know. You
I
know.
Go ahead, go ahead,
Like
go ahead.
preacher man. Um, there are tons of Asian owned stores in the
Yeah,
black community.
tons. Yeah,
Um,
here
uh,
in the both in the U.S. and Canada, by the way.
that's right. You
hmm
think about New York, you think any major city in the United States and
hmm
possibly even in Canada, especially in Toronto and places like that.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the black communities, the stores, when you think about eyelashes, when you think about hair, that all of the black women are having and change over on multiple for multiple occasions and on a
Uh-huh.
regular basis, man, that stuff is bought from Asian owned um, entities. And so I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that they have got to realize that that black people have supported Asian folks and Asian entrepreneurs
yeah.
over the years and continue to this day.
At the expense of our own, right? They
Indeed,
patronize their companies or their stores and ignore ours. But continue,
it's true.
continue.
It's true. Um, the sad part also is that for the last well, for a long time, black folks have been calling for justice and for peace and for all this stuff, right, in this
Hmm.
country. We've been on so many marches
Hmm.
out there, peaceful demonstrations, asking for justice, even for George Floyd, as we just talked about him. And I'm trying to recall in all of those marches. Now, yeah, I know it happened in many different cities, and maybe
It is right,
individuals can
right.
have a different viewpoint. Um, but I didn't remember seeing a whole lot of Asian faces in those marches.
Hmm.
Now, I didn't say that there isn't any, and there were not any, but there were not a lot in the ones that I've been to.
Right.
And I often wonder, man, were there support from the Asian community for cases where we were dealt harshly with violence, even or even faced death in the
Yeah,
black
right.
community? Was there an Asian voice speaking up on behalf of on advocating for black voices that were voiceless?
If there was,
That
I can't remember any, but I can be corrected on that. But I didn't see this whole big social media campaign by the Asian community saying, "Hey, we're standing with our black brothers and sisters." Um, I'm very much familiar with some of the problems that we've seen where they, like you say, they're choking black folks out in the stores, pulling guns on them,
Mhm.
calling police officers. As a matter of fact, just before I came on here, somebody shared a news story with me where a family was trying to rent from an Asian family. They changed. This is in Toronto. They changed their
Mm.
mind. The Asian gentleman did not want to give them the I think it was a deposit or something like that back. Um, and the gentleman called the police and said that the family, which was a black family, that the
Mhm.
man had a gun or somebody had a gun.
Wow.
So
Wow.
tons of cops came. Right now, it's floating around in social
Wow.
media there in Toronto, right?
And
Um,
man,
I'll,
can you imagine though? Can you
yeah,
imagine how scary that is? Because the moment the police arrives, and they're saying that you have a weapon, they're not asking questions, man.
yeah,
He could have that gentleman especially could have lost his life, or even that family
mhm,
could have
right,
lost their lives over this thing. That's
mm,
scary. That's scary. But that's not the
yeah,
first time, though. That's not the
right.
first time, and there have been countless situations like that, like you pointed out.
Mhm.
Man,
I,
in the
it,
stores, I saw one video where the Asian folks accused this one black lady of stealing in the store and grabbed her by the hair and was pulling
yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah,
And she didn't steal. That was the strange part about it. She didn't, but yet they did that to her, which is really horrible. And a lot of these stores are in the black communities.
hmm,
In fact, there was a news story a little while ago where the Asian gentleman had to apologize to the black community because
hmm,
they decided that they were gonna camp outside of the store and say how bad that they were treating the black community, and no one was gonna buy from the store anymore. So he was afraid that he was gonna have to shut his doors. So he made an apology and made a donation to the community.
hmm,
Um, but traditionally, man, it's been horrible. I mean, a lot of these entities are in the black community. They take from the black community, but yet don't support the black community, and that's wrong. That's wrong. But I mean, I'm hoping that there will be more advocates from the Asian community now that they're experiencing some of the same things or very similar to what a lot of the black folks in this country have experienced,
yeah,
that they will be more awakened to the plight, to the need for individuals to speak, to use their voices to advocate on behalf of others.
Yeah, like I said, I'm for anything that speaks out against racism and injustice and all those different things. But at the same time, I know it may not even be popular for you and I to one even thought, just like the coronavirus and all these different things. We're not supposed to say anything. Just be quiet and just be like a good citizen and go get your shot. Well, the
Wow.
same, I'm feeling that same thing with this Asian situation versus blacks versus Asian. Like I said, you pick up that type of narrative, that type of mindset coming from the media. As a matter of fact, the gentleman who abused that 65-year-old was it woman who stomped her. A news report came out that the doormen are now being fired in Manhattan. That situation in Manhattan, they're firing the doormen. And of course, sometimes when I pull up these articles, I go and watch the comments section. And people are saying, okay, one guy was jokingly saying he's going to check his job description to see if it says in there that you have to get involved when you see things,
Wow.
They got fired because they didn't, they didn't step in. They're not security
Mercy.
guards. I'm not saying, oh boy, interesting
Look,
times that we're living in, my friend.
when man, there's been so many instances now when I think back where I guess all those folks who did not step in, did not intervene, when so many individuals were being taken advantage of or even killed, then should something be done for those bystanders who just refuse to intervene in that situation? Um, I don't know, man. It's hard to even hear that. I mean, you had an Asian cop standing there while George Floyd was being choked to death, and did not intervene. He could have said, "Hey, I got it. Let get off a little bit. I got him now." Something,
Yeah.
to intervene. There was no one there to intervene. And in these situations, now we're firing individuals because they did not intervene. I think, well, you know what? Let's hold everyone accountable. Don't have these specific situations where these rules apply, but in others it doesn't. No, put it all across the board and let fair be fair.
Right.
So they need to reassess. I don't know. If I were them, I'd get a good lawyer and hopefully tackle the stuff out and make sure that I'm taken care of at the end of my life, till the end of my life. That's not right.
Right.
And there's precedence there for them to go to court over that stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how it amounts to.
I'm trying to share something here. Oh no, that's the wrong thing here. I'm pressing. In terms of the next story here, I want to bring in. Oh man, sometimes when you're trying to
That's technology, man. Sometimes it
yeah,
works, sometimes it doesn't.
but basically it's the little Nas X Satan shoes.
All right, let's go to it now. Let's go
Hold
to it.
hold on,
Let's go to it.
I'm trying to pull up this here we go. That's
You
this is
got
how
it?
you do it. Are you all right? Are you seeing it?
Yeah, I can see it. Um,
Okay.
I mean, he.
Let, let me see here. So this, of course, he's an entertainer, right? The young man is an entertainer, and he came out with the shoe. So notice here, this is what called a pentagram.
Yeah,
All right,
the
that's
pentagram. The
associated with demonology or Satanism, right?
Yeah,
If you notice here, it says on the shoe. Are you seeing my mouse? Are you able to?
I can see it. It's smaller,
Okay,
but I can see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
666, right? And the Luke, what is this Luke reference here? Luke 10 verse 18.
I can't see. I can't really see all the intricacies of the text that's written on the shoe, but
See if I
I
can
don't know
blow it up a
what is he
bit.
referencing. What is he referencing?
Yeah, it's Luke 10 verse 18, right? But of course, there's been a huge uproar from individuals regarding the whole situation. The shoes are all sold out now, but of course, part of the part of this story here now is that Nike is suing, or Nike got an injunction, or I guess blocking the sale of the Satan shoes.
Oh, because it
But
has the Nike logo on it.
or it has a Nike logo, or they didn't get proper permission, or the story is all fuzzy in terms of what really happened, right? Um,
Okay.
it's yeah, this is the 666 pairs, but from what I understand, oh yeah, here's the other part too: 60 cc's ink and 1 drop of human blood. But from what I
Mm.
understand, all of them they're sold out. So I'm not too sure what Nike is blocking right now.
There's nothing to block if they're already sold. He's just going to come up with a new design and sell out more. Um, there's a market for this stuff, man. There's a market for Satanism. There's a market for demon and devil worship. There's a market for it.
Mm.
In fact, with all the amount of witches that exist, when I say witches, individuals who are Wicca.
Yeah,
They know how to cast spells and all these different stuff. They're into that type of worship. That will speak to them. That will
right, right.
speak to them. You have a pentagram on there, which is historically, traditionally, and current day. It's the sign and symbol of putting a hex on someone.
Hmm.
It's not only seen on shoes. Now they have it in videos, man. They have it in music videos. They have it on all these different CDs, as they used to sell CDs. They used to have right on the front. Like it's common. It's common, and we know what the symbol means, and they're using it because that's what they know, and individuals will subscribe to it because now you have young kids at home trying to cast spells, and so they're learning that from YouTube. Come on, so it's nothing new, and there is a market. I went to one of those not hardware, man, those decorating type stores. I don't want to
Right.
call the name,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
those decorating stores, and they had some decorations in the store, like cutting boards and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, and they had a cutting board that had the pentagram on it. So I'm like, oh, a cutting board with a
It's there because there's a
pentagram.
market, like you said.
There's a market. And guess what? I went back in the store and the thing was gone, man. The thing was gone. Because I was
You were
like, I
just
want I
you weren't
want to
trying
take
to
a
get it. You
picture
were
of
just
it.
trying to pay. Ah, okay, okay.
I
You
want to
said
take a
you said.
picture just to show. I was trying to get it, man. I just wanted to see it. Like I couldn't believe my eyes. I wanted to go back and be like, let me take a picture of this. I wanted to get a picture of it because I went into the same store not too long ago, and they had a Ouija board
Yeah.
in there, and so I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing, a Ouija board. So I took a picture of it in the store, and I'm like, this is a regular store that you just go in if you want to decorate your home. You find a
Yeah.
clock, you find all those, a chair or something like that in it. Now, some of you might know what store I'm talking about already, but you find all these decorating good stuff in there, and yet they have Ouija boards. They have all these, pentagram stuff inscribed on decorating stuff, and I'm like, people are decorating their houses with pentagrams and stuff now. So that's the way that the world is going.
Satanism is mainstream. Oh, and by the way, Luke 10:18, it says, I'm looking at what, I don't know if this is a King James version, but anyways, it said, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from heaven. So the Luke 10:18 is on the shoe. Right. So
They're
this
not
young man,
hiding, man.
yeah, right, they're not hiding, but I mean, what can you say regarding this whole, you know, individuals allowing their children to, follow a person like this, and then there's this huge backlash when he goes like a step further, because he's come out and said that he's homosexual as well. There's one music that he just came out with, I don't know if it's an album or a song,
Mm.
where he was grinding on the devil in hell,
and all. He was yeah. The music video. He's number one. He's number one. I think I don't know on which chart right now, but he's
Look,
number one in
man,
the U.S.
this brother has given. He's given some. He's given up some things to get some things.
Hmm.
And right now he's basking in the fact that, you know what, I'd rather have the riches. At least he's going all out. He's going all out
He's not
for
half
what he.
stepping. Huh?
No, he's going all out. He knows what he believes in, and
Hmm.
we have to give him respect for that. He's
Yeah.
not hiding it. He's not like some individuals over the years who have been hiding, and they have to put the pentagram in the midst of their video, and just to show their symbol. This brother came straight out and just said, "This is what I am. Accept it." And I'll even tell you right now, this is my God, and
Hmm.
you all can just accept it if you want it, or reject it. But obviously, a lot of people accepted it if they're buying it, and he's going to come up with something else that's even more extravagant, and more descriptive in who he is and what he believes in. Sadly, I hope that there are no Christians that are following him, because he obviously, we already know who he subscribes to. But then again, the devil was the minister of music in heaven, right? So
There you go.
music is the thing that's going to pull some of these folks away. So I presume he's going to have a lot of followers, even some Christians who are looking at this thing, and maybe even following Little Nas X, and maybe buy his shoe because it's a collector item. So I hope that that's not the case, but be
Boss,
sure.
it's sold out. 666. I'm trying to get how long it took. At $1,000, 1,018 bucks. Sold out in a matter of minutes. I heard.
That's right. That's right.
So
And
that's
now
what I'm
it's probably
saying.
on somebody's shelf. It's
Yeah.
probably on somebody's shelf somewhere, or in the boxes still remain as a collector item. You can probably buy it on eBay for $50,000 later on. But the sad reality is that you're bringing a pentagram in your home. It is the sign of witches, and it is a
Mhm.
sign that a hex is placed on the individual. So
Right.
imagine how many hexes, how many spells have been cast on those individuals purchasing that item. It's a really sad thing, man. And in fact, when you do the research, you find out the devil himself actually shows up. So I wonder in what way the demons show up in those people's homes. It's gonna be something else. But this poor guy, I hope he's able to find Jesus, man. I hope he's able to change and know that God can forgive anything, and God will still accept him as his child. So I'm praying
That's
for
it.
him. I hope that it will change.
That's
That's
it.
the shoe. Yep.
That's the
Yep.
box.
That's right.
I'm trying. I'm
That's
trying to
right.
see if I can blow up the box here, but yeah, there it is. See?
To me, it just looks like a coffin, though.
Yeah.
It looks like a casket. It looks like when you
See,
open up a casket, and you know that the front of the casket, the half casket, when you open it up, that's what that reminds me of. It,
yeah,
it, it doesn't look like a shoebox.
Luke 10:18 here. Then it says, I saw Satan falling like lightning from heaven.
Well, I'm,
And
I'm glad he brought it up, man, because the devil has to fall. I mean, so that's a perfect text there to let us know that he's serving a fallen being.
hmm
It's not something that's not something good. That was, Lucifer was thrown out of heaven so fast he fell like a lightning and hit the ground. That's what he's telling you.
oh man, you see that? This
Yeah,
is what the box looks like. What?
he
Look at
even
this.
had brother. He even
You're
had. I
right.
mean,
It does look like death. It's like, look at that.
I'm telling you, man, it was complete death, complete death. I mean, this guy. That's sad. That's sad, man.
Wow.
We're
Wow,
gonna
my
we're gonna
God.
see folks wearing this stuff, proud, not even understanding the significance, um, not
Advent,
even understanding what they're having on.
Adventists,
Like,
don't judge me. Don't judge me, huh? The Adventists are gonna be like, it's
don't
between
judge.
me and my God. Me and my God.
Nah, man, you and your God will be Satan. That's I'm judging you, because that your God is Satan. You're saying it loud and clear right there. That's your God. So that's sad.
Oh,
That's
oh
sad.
man. What else can we get into, man? What else can we talk
Mercy.
about in terms of what's going on in our world? Um, is there
Man, we
any Any other thing that you want us to hit up?
You know, this I guess right now is just, man, the Florida sunshine is just feeling really good right now.
Yeah.
But I think about the pandemic, and everywhere is different. We
Mm-hmm.
can't get just one rule or one law. Like, you go in one state, it's completely different than the other state. And
Yeah.
I just really hope that, that things can be fine tuned where we have just one basic common understanding of this virus. Because I don't understand, how is it that we can go to like Kansas, or you can go to, let's say, New York, or you can go to uh, LA, and have completely different rules
Mm-hmm.
everywhere we go. And it's like,
Hmm.
isn't it the same virus? Like, how is it that it's going to be so different no matter where we go? Some
Right.
some places opened their schools, some places didn't. Some places have a hybrid. Like, it's just all over the place. And I think,
Hmm.
it is something that we really need to focus on right now, because it's really so different. Here we have in Ontario, they're probably going to be shut down again, and it's
For a
under
month.
some strict
For a month.
orders. It's just so topsy turvy, man. Like, I just wish that there was some consistency, where we all know exactly what's going to happen.
In last month, I mean, as we, hitting up on the church and how we're trying to navigate this thing. In the month of March, we normally have our Global Youth Day initiatives or programs or events, right?
Hmm.
Of course, we had to adjust a little bit in terms of what we did. So, we would be out there mingling with folks, mixing with folks, shaking hands, giving hugs, or whatever the case is.
Hmm.
At my church, what we did is that we served a meal, and we just advertised and told the folks just to come and we'll give them a free meal. I mean, we served about 300. Um,
Wow.
what happened is that we have to figure out ways where we can still be doing something, right? Where, granted, we are out of the churches and we're still conducting using ministry using technology, but we still have to find ways of how we can help unburden those heavy loads from our neighbors, man, and our communities. So
It's true, man.
we were able to
Wow.
do that.
Wow. That's admirable, man. That's
Hmm.
admirable. That's the work, really. That's what we're called to do,
Hmm.
to really serve our community.
Right.
That is a need right there. And
Hmm.
especially, I've been in so many different cities now, but being down here, I
Hmm.
realize individuals are hungry, preacher. They
Yes,
are
they are.
hungry. They are
Hmm.
hungry. When I say hungry, I'm not just talking about the word. Okay, you go and you give them a Bible study. I'm talking
Hmm.
about they're actually starving for food. Like, they're
Right.
wanting physical food,
Hmm.
and I've never experienced that to that magnitude.
But
The
folks, but
intense poverty.
some people are see it as we're not doing real ministry if we meet these needs. Some people actually think that we're not, we have to come to them with a track, or we have to come to them with some sort of Adventist literature in order to feel like we're doing real ministry. And I'm letting them know these folks are, it's not easy for them to come to us, right?
Man, real ministry. Hey, preacher, I was meeting with a couple very recently, right?
Uh-huh.
And I have to safeguard their names, but I can say this. After doing the Bible study with this couple, in the midst of it, I heard the the gentleman say, or the husband say, I'm really hungry. Man, that I was like, what? He just whispered it. Maybe it
Yeah.
was just in his mind and he didn't realize he was saying it at that time.
Hmm.
And I had to figure. I was like, well, what did you say? He had to. It
Hmm.
caught me off guard. And he says,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, I'm really hungry right now." So I had to
Hmm.
go and ask the questions like, "So did you eat? All that stuff?" I only found out, man, after they paid all their bills, it's rough when you're
Yeah.
looking at a
Yeah.
place where you have rent that's like $2,000 and $3,000 a month. There's gonna be hunger after those folks pay their bills. They don't have anything left. If they're working a
Hmm.
minimum wage, and minimum wage is $7 and cents, you know how
Yeah.
many hours you have to work to be able to pay those type of rent. And so, I had to go take them out to eat, and
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
folks, before by the time they got the food, it was done, preacher.
Mm.
They just ate that thing, man.
Right, right.
So I've never seen intense hunger like that. Giving someone a Bible study is one thing, but when you feed someone,
Hmm.
they man, that is a different type of ministry altogether. Because unless you take care of the physical food, you can't take care of spiritual food.
Spiritual
The
food.
folks can't process anything you're telling them about. Oh, I want to tell you about the word of God, sister. Like, come on, give me a break. What word of God are they going to care about if they're hungry, sitting before you, and you can't realize they're hungry, and you won't take care of the need? Like, that makes no sense. Give somebody a tract. It's the most in indirect
Incense.
way to
Yeah, yeah.
minister. It's so
Hmm.
indirect. It's so passive. We throw a tract on the side. Oh, take it, sister. Hopefully they read it. Like, what are the chances? People don't care. They want to know that you care for them. And when you show care for them, they'll follow you anywhere. That's what Jesus did. He cared for people,
That's
provided
what
for
I
their
wanted to
needs.
say. I think a lot of times when we ignore this aspect of ministry and thinking, some people call say a social gospel, but they use it as a pejorative. They're using it as a
Hmm.
negative term, simply because they're saying that, well, we need to focus more on Daniel and Revelation. And when we try to help individuals in this kind of manner, they don't think, like I said, it's real ministry. But Jesus Christ is the example, right?
That's right. That's right.
And that's what I don't get sometimes, where we are so stuck in how we believe ministry should be, we totally ignore what Jesus Christ did himself.
Exactly.
You don't have to look at the apostles, you don't have to look at anybody else in the Bible. What did Jesus do? Right? The
That's right.
individuals came. Um, if he spoke first, they were hungry later, he fed them. Or
That's
it
right.
was just a situation where he just straight up healed them, fed them, and he shared messages about the kingdom of God. So, he did it both ways. Sometimes he spoke and then he fed, sometimes he fed and then he spoke.
That's right.
It's a
Food is a
Jesus ministry.
prerequisite.
Right.
It's a mandate. Food is
Yeah.
a mandate for ministry.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a choice, it's a mandate.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
Christ did. If we just
Right.
follow what Christ did, we can't go wrong. Like,
Nope.
we can't go wrong. I think when we try to force the thing, oh, we need to give them the word. Some people would just try and beat us over the head. Oh, minister, we need to give them the word, give them the word, give them the word. And it's like, man, the people are hungry. If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
feed the
yeah.
people, they don't care. They just want to be in the church because some people come to church just because there's food being served.
There's food. That's it. I'm okay with
Man,
that. I'm
I
perfectly okay
remember
with that.
that, man. There's so many people who just come
I,
to church. They will leave from wherever they are and come to
yeah,
church because there's food there. And at
yeah.
the end of the day, when they're there so long, they don't
Mhm.
want to leave. They don't want
No.
to leave. They stay right there. They're like, I don't care about the other church down the street. This church feed me. This
Yeah.
church fed me when I was down and out. This church took care
Mhm.
of me. This church gave me boxes of food. They gave me a bag of food. They took me out to lunch. They could care less about anything else or anyone else. They know that you took care of them. That's what people care about. That's what they're looking for, especially now in this pandemic. Who cares enough to even know whether or not they're starving at home? Like, people are going through some real mental crisis right now. They're going
Yes.
through financial crisis. They don't have enough food on their table. Man, as a church, if the basic thing that we should do is not try and store up money at this point in time because we have less bills, but to see what we can use in our means to be able to feed people, to be there with folks, to journey with them spiritually. So Bible study, yes, do your Daniel and Revelation seminar, do all your stuff, but remember to feed people, because once you feed them the
Hmm.
physically, they will want to know more spiritually, and they'll grow
Spiritually, yeah.
and they won't leave. So
They
I hope
want that.
that many churches take note of that stuff, man. But this attitude where it's like, well, we can't feed people, no, 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 like, come on, man. Just being snobby, being stuck up, being prideful, being arrogant. And that's why many churches die, because they refuse to help those who are around them. Man, they refuse to care for these young families, these families that are struggling, the seniors that are there, and they wonder why no one wants to come through the doors. Well, some of
Hmm.
them don't want it. They want it. They're good staying a small little congregation in the back bush somewhere. They're okay with that. They're content with that, where they
Right.
fight amongst themselves. They don't want to hear anything else about about helping those in need because they're quite content with giving a tract. So impersonal and insensitive. I just drop something out of your door and take off and run. Man, I'm tired of that, man. Tired of hearing folks come talk about, Pastor, I need 300 tracts so I can go and drop it at somebody's door. Man, you go to these folks' homes and you see the pack of tracts sometimes sitting on their side table somewhere. So right
Always
how you gave them the bunch. They're too afraid to even give it out
sitting
anyway.
where? Sitting where? How about in the trash?
Oh, sad, sad,
In the
sad,
trash. But
sad,
I guess there's a place for it. But I'm big on
sad.
helping the folks, man, so that they can be more receptive to the gospel.
It's
Well,
true, man.
preacher,
It's true.
it's always good chatting it up with you.
Man, it's
Um,
great. It's
yeah,
great, man.
man. From week to week, we're here doing ministry and making sure that we're doing our best to encourage our members and as well as stay connected and keep in touch with our community as well, man.
Definitely. Man, we got to pray for our community, be there,
Yeah.
support our community.
Mhm.
Whatever means we have available, go there and
Mhm.
feed our communities. I can't wait to partner with you, preacher, to be able to see how we can pool our resources together and do an even bigger venture to be able to feed these folks because you got feeding on the north side, I got feeding on the south side. I mean, we taking this whole place by storm, man. So we
We
continue to
need to, we
feed
need
more
to
people.
pull. We got north and south. Okay, east and west now. We need to pull
That's
that.
it. That's it. That's it. Once we get all the bases covered, we can feed the our entire state of Florida, man. We'll be all right.
Yes, sir. Yes,
We'll be
sir.
all right. It'll be easy to just stand up and say, come to Jesus, man. Come to
That's it.
Jesus.
That's
That's
it.
it.
He's the real bread of life. Oh, don't get me preaching now. Don't
Oh
get me
yeah, man. Come
preaching.
on, come on.
All right,
Ah,
folks, we're gonna sign off until next Wednesday again. Um,
definitely.
and we'll come back here and talk about what's going on in our world and how our church can be more impactful in our society. All right,
Indeed,
Pastor
indeed,
Perrin
indeed.
here, and you got Pastor Dotton. I'm with Lighthouse Seventh Day Adventist Church and also First Ephesus. And preacher, you're with what?
I'm
Tabernacle.
with Tabernacle and Faith down here in
Tabernacle.
the Miami area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right.